Hello everyone, good evening. I know this is an odd time to do a Facebook Live video at dinner time, but I had an awesome session with some clients today, and I just wanted to share a little bit about that, our talk today, because I think it's something that could apply to a lot of families. And anytime a client has a win, I get so super excited. So my client has been struggling with their child not wanting to go to school and complaining, I don't want to go to school, I don't want to go to school, and really fighting to get out the door. And then once they get out the door, they get in the car, and then it's a fight to get out of the car. Then they get out of the car, and then it's a fight to get to the door of the school and all of that. So we've been talking about how to use some communication practices that might be helpful in toning down some of the escalation that's been happening when their child is fighting about going to school. So one of the things I had suggested is that next time their child does have this sort of temper tantrum, acting out, whatever you call it, to just say, tell me more. And the first thing that has to happen, which I know you've heard me say before, is we need to say that from a place of calm and a place of wanting to connect. If we say, tell me more, and we're super frustrated and angry about everything else, and we're like, yeah, tell me more, it's not going to work well. So we first need to calm ourselves. Maybe that's through a deep breath, maybe through some other way. But when we say the words, tell me more, what we're doing is opening up dialogue. What we're doing is letting our child know that they are seen and that they are heard and that they're valued, that their word is important. What we're not doing when we say tell me more is we're not judging. We're not saying, oh, you should, let me think, like, you should be better than that. You should be able to go to school. We're not fixing the solution. We're not saying, okay, then instead of wanting to go to school, maybe what if I give you this teddy bear and you could take that to school? We're not coming up with a solution. We're not fixing the solution. Like I said, we're not judging them. We're not shaming them by saying, you're such a baby, grow up. You should be able to do this by now. We're not saying any of those things. Again, what we're saying is your voice matters. You are seen and you are heard. And so in today's session, my clients said they had tried this, and when one of the parents said, tell me more, this is what their child said. Meanwhile, the child is 4 years old. The child said, so I'm worried about my brother doing this, and I'm wondering if there's a place for me in this family, and do you think there's going to be enough toys if he plays with it, but he really doesn't like my toys? The child just went on and on, talking about things that, from the parent's perspective, might not have been really the answer as to why this child is having temper tantrums to go to school, right? The child is 4. They have a fairly new sibling who is about a year old, and the child dished it all out. All the parents said was, tell me more, without saying anything else. The child just dished it all out, and at the end of the conversation, as they arrived to school, the child put their hand in their head, or their head in their hand, and let out a deep sigh, ugh, and said, my brain is feeling better. My little sibling can stay now. So what that tells me is maybe, just maybe, that child just needed to let that all out, needed to be seen and heard. And for someone to understand why it's so difficult to go to school. It's so difficult to go to school because I don't get time to spend with my parents and my little sibling does. Maybe that's the answer, right? We don't really know. What we do know is what I've mentioned in the past is that sometimes we could look at behavior like an iceberg, right? I use the iceberg in all my workshops. The tip of the iceberg is what we see. That's their behavior. That's the temper tantrum, the slamming of doors, the eye rolling, the huffing and puffing. Underneath that is the need. So the need for this child right now seems as if, based on the conversations I'm having with the parents, am I loved? They're asking, am I loved? Do all these things that are changing and happening with my new sibling, Does that still mean there's enough love for me? And when I go to school, I don't feel like I'm loved because I miss my parents. I don't get to see them, but I know my little sibling does get to stay home and play with them. So I just think that's a really great snapshot of how communication can really be such a great tool. And this is great for kids. I mean, this child happens to be about 4 or 5 years old. This is a great tool even for children who are teens and tweens. We want our kids to come talk to us, right? We want our teenager, when they're considering doing drugs, staying out late, making friends, whatever it is, to talk to us. And we know that we're going to be shunned out of a lot of conversations, but if we start now at an earlier age to start just saying, tell me more. Maybe later we can have more of a discussion, but right now just tell me more. You want a tattoo? Tell me more about that. Tell me why you want a tattoo. Where are you thinking of getting the money for that? What do you think that'll do? How do you think that'll change who you are? It's just curiosity. It's just questioning. And it allows the child to feel seen and heard. And for a lot of children, that really matters. So I hope this little snapshot of an inside peek at one of my coaching sessions helps and can guide you. And if you would like to talk more about this or any other parenting challenge, feel free to reach out to me. I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.